Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of the art party. I am really excited to create this fun tropical artwork today. If you are joining me, go ahead and put your name in the comments. Let me know who is here and who is joining me today. I am wondering, have you been here all week? We have created crazy cakes, space scenes, and today we are doing a jungle scene with a sloth. Tell me, are you joining today? And maybe put a number. How many times have you been at the art party this week? Is it 1? Maybe today's your first time and I'm so excited you're here. Maybe it's 2 or even 3. Hello, Ethan and Kate and Zara, Kaylin and Ashton have come 3 times. That is amazing. Is Aurora, I think I didn't say that right, sorry. Molly.Rose, I can see Josie is coming for the second time. Talia is here with Maddie, it's your second time too. Hey, I am so excited if you are back again. Do you know what that means? It means that you are practicing and you're developing skills, but we're also having heaps of fun because we're being really consistent. Hey there, Ollie and Harry, Bodie and Kai's here. Will and Max are joining for their first day. Thanks for coming. Hey there, Archie and Henry and Luke and Hudson. So, you know what? I think some of you have gone ahead and invited your friends over to do art, and that is such a fun way to do art, even if you've got brothers and sisters. The more people around, it makes you get really fun creative ideas. I love that. So well done if you've got some friends over. Zoe, Lizzie and Matilda, hi Summer and Tila, Megan and Killian are here for the second time. Lucinda's here for the second time. Karis as well, Billy and Grace a third time. Wow. Hey there, Jess and Ryan. Faith is back again today. Sophie, Tabby and Hugo are here. So many of you. I can't keep up with all the names, but I wish I could say hello to every single person. Hi, Nicholas, Piper and Hudson are back for the third time. And I can see Rachel and Michael. You know what? When I'm going through the names, I kind of know who you are because I see the photos that you put in the comments. And every time I see your photo with your art, I can think of like at least 5 or 6 or 7 beautiful things about what you are creating. So well done. You are all incredibly creative and imaginative and learning so much from turning up this week. Hi, Ariel and August and Albie are checking in. Jacinta and Zion are here for the first time, or Zion. Well done for coming for the first time, you guys. That is awesome. Isabella, Amelia, and Callum are here for the first time. Hey, you guys. Ben and Hugh are here for the third time. I've seen your art, Ben and Hugh. I remember your names. Well done this week. And Laura's here for a third day. I cannot wait to create with all of you. There's probably about 100 or more jumping on the live class. And it's a really beautiful thing to do each morning of your holiday. So thanks for coming. Hi, Ruby. Hi, Justin, Nicola, Sebastian, Olivia, and Grace for the very first time. And Jessie's here. So what I'm going to do in a moment is go through the art supplies that we're going to be using today. And we're going to jump into our art project. Like always, we will do some drawing and then we'll have a little break and I'm going to share some of the beautiful artworks from last lesson. So if you need to catch up, there's totally time for you to do that throughout the lesson. Hello, Sam and Angus are joining for the first time. Miller and Willow, Haley, Madison, Sophia and Amelia. And this is your first time. So that is so cool. So you can kind of tell we're doing a sloth. Sloths are very popular. I've seen them on wrapping paper, on fabric, on clothes. They're kind of cute and they're very fun to draw. So we are doing a sloth today. And I want to show you that this actually is part of an art camp that I'm doing next week. So this is great if you're in Melbourne. We are doing next week at art camp. Can you just take a look? This is a really fun project. I did a little sleepy sloth. He's hiding here. but you can see that I've drawn some other animals, and then I've painted a whole bunch of leaves, tropical jungle leaves, and I've kind of collaged it all together. So this little project we're doing today is a mini version of this that I'm doing at my art camp, which is, if you were in Melbourne, you want to go ahead and check this out because you can still join. But I love sharing where your art can take you. You can start here, but you can end up doing something really cool like this. So I'm so excited to do our beautiful jungle scene. So in a moment, I'm going to get to our art supplies. Hello, Austin. It's your first time. Ella and Harry are here. And some of you are joining from Sydney. This is a really cool thing to be doing if you're in Sydney, because I know some of you are in lockdown. I'm in Melbourne. I know a lot of you are from Melbourne as well, and we've been through the lockdown before. So it is really tricky, but this is something fun that you can do all the time and revisit. All right, give me a thumbs up. I can't see your thumbs up, but I can kind of feel. Give me a thumbs up if you are ready to go through the art supplies that we need today. It is really, really simple. We only need 3. How cool is that? I'm going to do them right now. Are you ready? As I go through them, I want you to put your hand on the supplies just to make sure they're all there. So we want a piece of art paper, and we're putting it in the wide position. Do you know what that is called? Tell the person next to you. The wide position is called landscape. We are doing a landscape artwork today. I am going to be using, to do my outlines, a permanent Sharpie marker. So it's really important today that you're using a permanent marker. I don't want you to be using a normal black marker. Has anyone got an idea why I don't want you to use this today? Any ideas? We're going to be painting. And if we paint over a normal marker, do you know what happens? It's going to run and bleed, which is kind of cool, but it's not what the effect we want to go for. So have you got your permanent Sharpie marker with you? Hold it in your hand right now. That is what we're going to do all of our drawing outlines with. Then we're going to be painting. So you might have watercolor paints that look like this one that was in your art supply list. This is a really, really cool favorite one of mine. I love it. And I actually have this packet of paints, and I'm going to be using these. These are called Poster Colors by Zard Art. I'm just telling you the name in case you want to go and grab them after the class. And I love them because look how bright and neon and fluoro they are. I love them. They're really, really cool, and they last a long time. So you want to have watercolor paints, or you might have these like me. I'm going to be using these because I love the colors and I want my jungle scene to be nice and bright. Hello, Evie and Chloe just jumped on. So, do you get all that? We've got paper, a permanent marker, and some watercolor paints. The very last thing, of course, is a paintbrush. So, I reckon that you have all of those in front of you because your mums are super organized and they make sure you have all the supplies that you need. I want to start drawing a sloth. Do you want to start with me? Put your hands in the air if you are ready to start, because that's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and hold our Sharpie marker and start with our sloth. Okay, we're going to do our sloth first. Then we're going to do our tree trunk that he's hanging on. Then we're going to do the leaves. Then we're going to stop. I'm going to show you a few artworks from yesterday. Then we're going to paint. Okay? So let's do it. What I want us to do is find the right-hand side of the page. So that's over here. Okay? And I want us to put our hand like at the top of the page on the right side where our thumb is. Maybe spread it out a little bit, and you can put like the tiniest little dot. Let's go ahead and start the little sleepy sloth's head just about here, okay? So we're on the right side. And the first thing we're going to do is 2 little eyes and a little nose. So let's go ahead and do that. So just underneath the little dot that I drew, I'm going to draw a little circle colored in for one eye. And then look at this. This one is kind of, it's not straight. It's on a bit of an angle. So I've got two little eyes. They're kind of going like this. And then in the middle, I'm going to draw a kind of bigger oval shape for a nose. Just like that. Sloth's little eyes and nose are so cute. And then we're going to draw a little kind of J underneath for part of the mouth. And then a backwards J for the other part. And then, you know what, that's pretty much the eyes and the nose. That's all we need to do for that section. Now the next bit, just use your finger first. I want you to grab your finger and I want you to draw an imaginary circle for the head around the sloth. So it starts up here, around, around, around and back. So we're not going to draw that line, but I want you to know where it goes. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to pretend I know where that line is because I drew it with my finger. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go dash, 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 dash. This is really tricky. So just have a look at what I'm doing first. I'm doing a lot of dashes, little strokes pointing outwards where the outline of the head's going to be. I know where it is because I just drew it with my finger. And can you see that? Can you see what I just drew? I'm going to go zoom in a little bit. That is what I want you to do. Can you have a look at the screen right this second? Take a peek and then go ahead and draw it yourself. So we don't have one solid line. We have all of these little dashes because we want our sloth to be really furry. Okay, if you've done that, do another line. So I'm going to do another line of little dashes just outside that. So we have a super furry, hairy sloth. And you know what? When we're doing these little dashes with our marker, this is giving the idea of texture. And texture is how something feels. It's going to feel super furry. So do another outline of these little dashes. I know lots of you might never have done this type of drawing before, but I think this is going to look super, super fun and super hairy. If you want to, you could even do another one. Do you want to do another line or outline? I'm just going to do another little outline of these dashes. If you don't need it, you don't need to add the third outline. Okay. So here I go. I'm just finishing off the third outline. And you know what? This is almost like the hardest part. After we do this, it's going to get easy. Okay. So I have part of my face. One thing that sloths have are these little eye patches. They're kind of like panda eye patches. So can we put that in? And the way that I'm going to do it is with little dashes. We are going to do heaps and heaps and heaps of line in this project. So are you ready? Around the eye, I'm going to do little dashes pointing out. So here I go. I'm going to zoom in a second. I'm going to do little dashes pointing out. So let's zoom in because it's a really, really small little detail that I've done there. Can you see that? Little dashes around the eye. Okay. Let's go ahead and do another row of little dashes around the eye because they've got these little eye patches. And we want to highlight that. So I've got little dashes here. And maybe we should do it on the other eye too. Do you want to go ahead and do it on the other eye? Here I go. Tiny little dashes from the eye pointing out. I've got one row. And I think I'm going to do another row because I can fit it. If you can't fit it, you don't have to. Okay. So I have my sloth's face made up of heaps of lines. And it's kind of looking at this point a little furry. So are you ready for the next step? Because the next step we're going to do two little arms. That's the next step. Let's go ahead. Someone's saying, yay, their thumbs are up. They're ready for the arms. Okay, go ahead. Watch how I draw the arm and then you do it. So I'm going to put one little arm up here and I've got my imaginary branch. It's going up here, just like this. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start just underneath the little sloth's head. I'm going to do a U shape. I'm going to come up, 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 up. And then I'm going to go around for the top of the arm. I'm going to come back and join. So I've got an imaginary branch. It's going to be holding on up there. So this is number one. Little arm number one. And you know what? The second one's easy. It's just a little bit bigger. So for the second one, I'm going to put 3 fingers, and then I'm just going to put a little dot because I want them spaced out. And I'm going to start just a little lower, and here I go again for the second leg. I'm going to do a U shape, and then I'm going to keep going up, up, up in a curve. I'm going to go around and back and then join up. So I have arm 1, leg 2. Mine looks wonky, but don't worry. We can fix it up if it looks a little wonky. Okay, are you ready for the body? We are nearly finished our sloth. There's not many outlines. And then we're going to add a heap of liney, hairy details. Here I go. I'm going to start at the head, and my line's going to go like this. And I love doing it with my finger first, just so I can kind of get it right. Here I go. Down, around, and I'm going to go connect with the back leg. So here I go, starting at the head, down, around, and I'm going to connect back up with this little leg there. Okay, my sloth has a bit of a body, but I need a little line just here between the legs. I need a line between the legs. Okay, boys and girls, we have a sloth head, a front leg, a back leg, a body. What do we need next? What do you think? What should we do next? Because there's a system to this drawing. We have something to do specifically next. Can you guess what it is? Should I do the legs? What do you think? Should I do the leaves? I'm going to do the branch next, and I'm going to show you why. Here I go. I'm going to start at one page. I'm going to draw a really wobbly, wobbly, wobbly line. It's going to stop at the top of the arm, jump over, wobbly, wobbly line, jump over, and let's go off the page. Okay. There is the top of the branch. Some of you guessed it. Well done for guessing that we're doing the branch next. All right, let's do the bottom of the branch. Wobbly, wobbly, wobbly line. Jump over the arm, jump over the leg, and disappear. Okay, we had to do the branch. Do you know why? Because now it is easier to put the little other legs in. And I'll show you. The little leg goes like this. I'm going to start here. I'm going to draw a line right up, connecting to the branch. And now I'm going to draw a U shape for the paw that is going over the branch. So he's got his little paw like this, connecting to the branch. We couldn't have done that before if we did the legs first. Can you put that one in? And let's see, can we do another one of those little legs too? And I think mine's just going to go here. So I might need a little line connecting the body to the head first. And here I go. It's going to go, let's see, up, 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 up to the branch. And then a U shape over the branch. All right, I have 4 arms or legs. Okay, put a number in the chat. Have you got how many legs? Have you got 4? We definitely need 4 arms or legs. So that's what I want you to get to. And now, before we move on, we're going to do our little hairy texture. Now, there's something that is really important to notice about our drawing today is obviously we're doing a lot of line to create really hairy texture. And the reason we're doing that is we are actually creating contrast in our picture. So contrast is where you put 2 different things next to each other. So I have a really beautiful, colorful background and then an animal that's black and white. So they're really different. One's black and white, one's colorful. We put them together, we get contrast. That's something that you've learned today. Okay, you guys have heaps of legs. You've got 4 of them. So this is the way I want you to do your lines for your hairy sloth. I want you to do lots of little long and also short lines, and we're doing them in this direction first for the body. And you can see when my lines, they're really kind of rough, they're a little wobbly. We are doing a very loose style of drawing today. Nothing is really perfect and precise. I want you to really embrace having lots of wobbly, loose kind of line strokes. And what you can see is I'm doing a few lines on top of each other at the bottom. Why do you think that is? Any ideas? Why have I got lots of lines at the bottom of the sloth? It's because down here it's darker. So underneath, the sloth is going to be a little darker. And as I move up here, my lines get further apart. And can you see they're all going in this direction? They're going like curved. I'm not drawing straight ones or ones straight up and down. I'm drawing lines that are in curved direction because I know my sloth is kind of hanging in that curved way. So some of you just guessed, I'm creating shade. That's right, I'm doing shading by doing lines on top of each other down here, and then they get further apart, which means they're lighter up here. And maybe up the top where his belly is, there's like no lines at all up there. Okay, so I've done that pretty quickly. You don't have to overdo it. I reckon maybe that is almost enough. So it's actually quite a quick way of drawing or adding texture or coloring something in because we're not adding a full block of color. Are you ready to do the same thing on the legs? Are you ready? I think what I'm going to do is start with these back legs. Do you think the back legs will be darker or lighter than the front legs? I think you're really smart and you've already guessed it. The back legs back here are going to be darker. So let's do this. The back legs, super easy. I'm going to do strokes up and down on the back legs, and they're quite close together. So it's looking a little dark, but it's still looking hairy. I don't want to see just colored in black, just lots and lots of strokes. Okay, and then I can do that on the little paw over the tree. Lots of little strokes, but I can still see the white of the page. And I'm going to do the same thing just here on the next little arm that is behind him. Stroke, 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 stroke. So today, when you talk about your art, you can say, I used a lot of line to create texture, very, very feeling, and contrast today. So that's really, really advanced skill. And I was almost not going to put this lesson in the art party, but I really wanted to challenge you today and just show you what you can do with a little bit of guidance. And I think these are going to look fantastic. Okay, I have 2 legs left to do. How many have you got? Are you ready for the next 2 legs? Put a 2 in the comments. Are you ready for the next 2 legs? Now these 2, we don't want them to be as dark as this. We don't want that many lines. We want them to be a little lighter. So if you are ready for the next 2 legs, put a 2 in the comments. I think you're ready. So here I go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a few light lines. They're starting at the bottom and they're kind of curved. They're not straight. And they're coming up, 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 and they're coming up, up, up like this. And I'm going to leave a really plain white section down the middle of this leg. So I'm curving them around at the bottom, and I'm coming up, up, up around the outside. I'm coming up, up, up around the outside, and in the middle, I'm leaving it white. Now, all of these are going to look a little different. And I've got a few really, really kind of short lines. Maybe at the very top, I'm just going to do a few little strokes, more strokes on the little paw coming from the top. But let's see. I think that's all I'm going to do for my little leg. I want to go ahead and do the same thing on the other one. So for the other one, let's go ahead and do it together. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm just going to do a few little lines around the outside of the leg all the way to the top. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to do a few little lines on the other side all the way to the top. I might even do another row of that. And I'm leaving the middle of the arm no strokes, so it's totally white. Because we do want areas of our little sloth that have no marks on it. They're just white. And I think at the little paw at the top, you can definitely do a few more strokes. Okay, now I just want to address that sometimes when we do a new technique, we can not always be happy with it. Sometimes we're not really happy when we try something new of how it looks. But my encouragement to you is to keep going. I don't want you to stop halfway through this lesson because you're trying something new and you're not happy with how it's turning out. You know why? Because when we push through to the end of the lesson and you finish your artwork, then you can kind of look at it and say, if I try this again, I might do this differently. And when you have a second go or a third go or a fourth go, you get better and better. And so I've been doing art for many years. And when I was little, I had to keep trying and trying and trying. So a lot of you were telling me it looks cute and you're happy with it. That is fantastic. But if you're having a little trouble with feeling like it's good, I don't want you to stop. I want you to keep going. Okay. It is time to add some lines to the branch. Now there's a certain way that I like to do some lines on the branch. Okay, here I go. This is what I would like you to do. Find a spot on your branch and do a swirl. I want you to do a swirl. Just like that. Do you know what that represents? It represents the knot or the little bark kind of knot on a tree. So once you've done the swirl, you can do a few curved lines either side. It's a little curved line here and here. And now find another space for a swirl, maybe over here. Swirling, swirling, swirling. Okay, and curve it this way. Let me see, curve it this way, just around the swirl. I could probably fit one or two more. So go ahead and put some swirls on your tree and it kind of looks like a knot or a bark on the tree. So maybe here, and this swirl's kind of coming off the edge of it. There we go. And maybe just a curved line around and a curved line around and maybe one more. So this style of drawing that we're drawing today, it's a really loose kind of style. And you know what? Sometimes when we do something new, it's tricky to get the first time, but it's not a reason not to try it. So I'm really, really excited to see all the finished ones at the end of this lesson. Okay. So someone said, you'd like to know how old I am. Well, I have to think about that. I'm 30 something. I think I'm 33. So I've been doing art since I was maybe 5. And then I went to art school. So I've been doing art a really long time. And you know what? I still learn. I'm still learning every single day. And you know the people I learn the most of? Do you know who they are? They're you. You guys teach me the most about art because you guys have the best imagination. You always try everything. You never give up. That's why I love being an art teacher. Okay. Are you ready for some fun jungle leaves? Who is ready? Give me a thumbs up if you are ready for like jungle leaves in the background. What I want to think about is putting some big ones and some small ones. And I want us to fill around our sloth. So I'm going to show you a few different types, but you put them wherever you want, okay? Wherever you want on your page. So here I go. This can go wherever. I want you to find a space, maybe here, and I want you to do a wiggly line from the top and then come off the page, just a wiggly line. Lots of you are ready for the leaves. Now, let's do a few strokes from the outside connecting to that line we just drew, just like this. Stroke, stroke, stroke. Make them not too long, kind of small, just like that. This is a really fun way to do a jungle leaf. Okay, have you got that? Now, this line is really wobbly. Watch what I do. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to come up. I'm going to do a wobbly line around that little stroke I just did and back in. Around the stroke and then back in. Around the stroke, I'm going to hide behind the little sloth. And then around that stroke and back in. Around the stroke. Around up here. Around the stroke and back in. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm just going around that stroke and back in and then off the page. So yours might have more wobbles or less. That is totally fine, however you want to do it. And for me, you know what I'm going to do? Because I really like the idea of lots of black lines in this picture, you don't have to add this if you don't want to, but I'm just like going to do a really loose line over the top of that wobbly line I just did. So I'm just going to go over the top of it. And that's just going to make that stand out. And I'm not trying to get it right on top. I'm just kind of just going over the top. It looks a little loose. I know that's a funny idea, but this is a really fun way to create that contrast we're talking about. So it looks really wobbly. I hope you're getting the idea that today's lesson is really loose style of drawing. Are you ready for another leaf? Put this wherever you want. Let's see. I've got a big space here, so mine's going to go up here. So find a space on your page for the second leaf. And once we do the leaves, remember we're going to take a break. So you guys can definitely have time to catch up. So let's see. Maybe another wobbly line starting at the top, and I'm going to finish a little shorter than the other one. And this one is more traditional, so I'm just going to do some little leaf shapes coming off that middle line. And another one here. So I'm going to fill this one, and the leaves are kind of big because we want to paint them. So I'm just going to do some more leafy shapes just here, all the way from that center vine until I get to the bottom. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side. So on the other side. So this would look good if you even did it like up here. Could be kind of hanging down. That could look great. I'm going to do some more over here. A whole heap. These ones are fun because they're just repetitive. And I can even go right off the edge of the page if I need to. So I have that kind of style. Did you put it here or did you put it up here or somewhere else? That one is really fun. And another way to add detail, if you want to, I'm going to draw a line in the middle of my leaf, and then I'll do a few strokes. It's like the middle vein of the leaf and a few lines coming out. So if you want to do that, it might take a little while because there's quite a lot of leaves. Or maybe you could even just do the middle line, maybe just 2 or 3 strokes from the middle line out to the edge. So what we are doing with our background is adding a whole heap of really tropical jungle plants that are going to add color to our background once we paint them. And the next one, I'm going to do like a really big leaf, I think. That could be a good idea for the next one. Remember at the beginning, I said let's try small leaves plus big. I want different sizes because that's going to add really interest in our artwork. Okay, are you putting veins on your leaf like me? It's a lot of strokes. So I'm doing a middle stroke and then a few little strokes from that middle line out to the edge of the leaf. I know you guys all know how to draw a leaf, so you don't need too much explaining with this one. So just a middle line. I think these grapes are kind of fun, and the grapes are really easy because they're just a bunch of circles. So maybe we could put those in somewhere as well. Okay, who is ready for, or you can let me know, how many leaves have you got? How many leaves have you got? Have you got 1 or 2? Or are you onto your third and you've just gone ahead? All right, I'm going to do, let's see, maybe a big leaf here, and you might not be able to see the whole thing, but I need something here. Lots of you have got 2 leaves. So mine's going to start at the top. I'm going to do a little curve line, and then I think I might come down, tuck behind the branch, and then go back up. And maybe I've got a little middle line for that, and it's kind of jumping up here off the page. So I've got a big leaf, and I'm going to make the middle line of this a little darker. So I'm going to color that. Look what I'm doing. I'm being pretty rough. I'm going to color that middle line and then do some strokes to the outside. So I'm just putting a few line patterns on this leaf right here. So that one could look even good down the bottom. Okay, can we add grapes? I'd really like to add grapes because I want to color them pink. Wow, someone's already done 12 and 16 leaves. Oh my goodness, you guys are so quick. Okay, let's see. Maybe there could be a little bunch of grapes down here for me. So the first thing I might do is a stalk. So I'm going to go straight up and then straight up. So my grapes have got to go off a stalk. And let's see. I'm going to draw another little line coming off. So I've got a few little branches happening here. I'm going to somehow put my grapes on these. So I'm going to do a little bunch that's kind of coming out here. And they're going to look like this. Circle. Round and round, round and round, round and round. So all I'm doing is circles, and they're really loose circles. And my bunch is kind of getting smaller as it comes to the tip. So let's see. I think maybe one more here. There's my bunch of grapes. And I don't know, but I've got to fit a leaf in, and maybe it's going to go behind. Like the little bunch of grapes has a leaf at the top. Just like that. Okay, that is there because I want to color it pink. I was kind of excited to add that color. We have maybe 1 or 2 more spaces. So are you ready for the last 1 or 2 more leaves? And then we'll take a break. And if you need to catch up, you absolutely can. So this next one, I'm going to try this type of leaf here. It's a real big stalk with kind of really long leaves coming off it. So I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to come down just about to here, and then I'm going to go back up. And I've got my middle stalk just like that, and I'm just going to loosely color it in. Now, guys, you can put these leaves wherever you want, or maybe you've decided to do your own type. I'm just showing you a few different options. Okay, I've got the middle stem, and now I'm going to do some really long leaves coming off. So they start at the middle, they come out and back in. Out and back in. They're going to hide behind this branch in a minute. Out and back in. They've gone behind the branch, and then I've got to imagine, okay, they come out of the other side of the branch just about here, and they're going to go out and back in, and as I get to the top, maybe they get a little shorter. Right up here, they're getting a little shorter, and maybe this one kind of comes straight. So I'm going to do that on the other side. They start off a little small, and then as they get bigger, the higher up I go. Let's see. Up here, out and back in, out and back in, out and back in. Last one, out and back in. Okay, that one fills that space pretty well. I think I could do one more here, but you might not be able to. So if you can't fit it, don't worry. So the last one is going to look super easy for me. This is what I'm going to do. You might like to do it. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to do a wobbly line and then just come back. So it's like a really long grass. And then I'm going to do another wobbly line. It's going to hide behind the sloth. And then I'm going to come back. So I think that one is super simple. And if I want to, I'm just going to go over the outline so you can really see it. It's not very bold. It's going to go over that outline. Now, I wish I could see all of your jungle leaves. I wish I could see them, and I'm going to see them when you post a photo. But what I want to do now is give you time to fix and, not fix, but just finish off all your jungle leaves. And you want to go ahead, get out your paints and your paintbrush, okay? And I'm going to take this time before we start painting to show you the most amazing artworks from our lesson yesterday. Okay, are you ready? This is part of my favorite thing at the art party is seeing your beautiful artworks. Here's Megan and Alyssa with their space. And you know what, girls? You did such a fantastic job adding pattern to your rockets. These look super colorful and they really stand out against your space background. So well done. Now, Tilda and Eli and Laura. Now, Laura, I don't know where to look. I'm kind of looking at your unicorn outfit and then your spaceships as well. All of you guys with Tilda and Eli as well did really small spaceships. And that looks like in space, the background is so huge and your spaceships are tiny. So it's really giving me the idea of distance and depth. I really love all of these ones. Here is Ava, Chloe, and Emily on your right. And then we have Ruby. Now these guys, you can tell their spaceships are bigger. So these are really great to have a look at how the size of things can make your artwork look different. Ruby, it's so fun to see your spaceship flying off the page. And I really liked Ava, Chloe, and Emily. The angle of your spaceships as well and the outline details are really neat. Here is Zachary, Grace, and Hugh. And I think there's a little person joining Grace and Hugh. Now, guys, you added heaps and heaps of planets and stars and extra details. So your space artwork looks so full and detailed. So well done. I think that would have taken you a long time. I'm really impressed. Okay, Hugo, Lucy, Eloise, and Sebastian. Now, Hugo is only 3. I cannot believe you did such a wonderful artwork, Hugo, and you're only 3. Well done. Lucy, I'm really impressed with how neat your coloring is. And Eloise and Sebastian, well done for the painting of the black. I went over in this lesson, you want to paint left to right to get it really smooth. And I can tell with the brush strokes in the black, you followed that instruction. So guys, yesterday I mentioned ways you can keep creating after the art party. Remember, the art party finishes tomorrow. I have a really fun bundle of video lessons for all the fantasy lovers, and I have one for all the animal lovers. So I mentioned that yesterday. You can check that out. But today I wanted just to tell you a little more about my art club. Lots of you guys joining today are in my art club. And that is where you guys come and you find a whole library of over 50 art lessons with me. So just like this, there's like 50. And what I do is I add a new project every week. So a new lesson every week, and you get a live art class as well. So I wanted to tell you about this because the enrollment to the art club closes at the end of the school holidays. And for the art club members, we are doing a live art class on Friday. Can you have a look at this fun unicorn? This is what we are doing inside the art club on Friday for our live art class. And I'm just giving you a sneak peek of what's coming up in July in the art club. We are doing painted flowers. We are doing fairies. We are doing foil printing rainbow fish. These ones are some of my favorite lessons. And in August, we are doing a kookaburra, that's a live art class, collage. We're doing mermaids, mushrooms, and also there's a river otter. So it's really, really fun just to show you the type of projects that if you want to go ahead and keep doing art with me in the art club, that's what we're going to be doing, a new lesson every week. So you can find all about that on the website or in the emails I send. Are you ready to paint? That's enough talking from me about that. I am wanting to paint, and this is the tricky part. We've got to decide what color goes where. So I want you to think about a really light, bright color for the background. Light and bright. That probably doesn't make sense. I want you to choose not a dark color for the background. So we're going to decide that first. I'm going to do maybe a yellow or an orange background. So that means I'm not going to do yellow leaves. Okay, so decide that first. Here I go with my painting. I'm going to go ahead and do the leaves. So I'm using my really, really lovely fluoro colors from my paint palette. And I'm going to go ahead and paint the outline of my leaves first. And once I get the outline, then I can be a little speedy in the middle, okay? So we are going to go ahead and paint the leaves now. Now remember, little Sloth here stays black and white. Do you remember why he stays black and white? Remember that word that I used at the beginning of the lesson that we're creating in this artwork? He stays black and white because we're creating contrast, okay? So our sloth's black and white, but our background is colorful. So here is my really bright green leaf, just like that. And let's see, I'm going to wash my paintbrush out and choose another color for something different. So make sure you're always washing out your paintbrush before you use another color. And lots of you just mentioned contrast in the comments. You guys listen so well. That is perfectly right. We are creating contrast. So when you go ahead and tell somebody about your artwork today, you can say, I created contrast by the use of my color and my use of line. So that's a really, really advanced thing to talk about. When we move into high school or VCE, because I teach VCE, they're the kids in year 11 and year 12, we need to be able to talk about the art that we create, okay? So using these words is really, really advanced. So I'm going to go ahead and do this blue. And one thing I want you to notice, I'm not being really neat with my painting. I'm actually just painting this stroke and it's going over the edge of my Sharpie marker line. But remember what we're practicing today, a really loose style of drawing and painting. And that's really hard for some of you because some of you, I think, you're probably a bit perfectionist. Do you know what that means? I used to be like that too. I used to be a perfectionist. And a perfectionist is when you try something and nothing's ever good enough. You're never happy with what you do. So this style of painting and drawing is really challenging that because there is always something amazing about what you do. You just have to look and you have to find it. So at the end of the lesson, I'm going to ask you, what is something that you are most proud of about your art today? Because that's a really great way to challenge that perfectionism. Perfectionism will never make you happy, okay? So I want you to give that up right now. And art is a really great way to challenge that, something that I see in my classroom a lot. Okay, I've done some orange type grapes, and I'm going to do some pink leaves. They probably don't really exist in the jungle, or maybe they do, but I don't care. I love pink. You can kind of tell by what I'm wearing today. I love pink, so I'm going to do some really bright pink leaves here. And you go ahead and tell me, how many leaves have you painted so far? Are you choosing the brightest colors on your color palette? I want you to choose the super, super, super bright ones. Here I go. I'm just going to paint my outline of my shape. I'm not even worried about going over the edge. I don't even care, because this style of painting is really loose, and I have fun doing this sometimes. Sometimes it's nice to do something really neat and accurate. Sometimes it's nice to do something a little looser. Okay, lots of you are doing 3 or 4 or 5 leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 5, so you're on track. Good job. I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, paint this one up here, bright pink. That one looks fun to me, and I'm going to go around the outside first, and then I can kind of be speedier in the middle. And I'm keeping my brush strokes really nice and smooth. Lots of you are up to about 4 or 5 different leaves, which is great. Don't worry if you're still on your second. You still got time. And I'm deciding what color to do this. I have a really bright fluoro orange. So I have decided to paint my background yellow. And it's because it's the lightest color that I have. And I also did it here, and I like it. So sometimes when you've done something and you like it, it's kind of a good idea to do that again. So I liked the yellow that I did before, so I'm going to do it again. And this one is going to be quite big, so I'm going to do some orange on this super big leaf. And you guys take your time with your painting, because sometimes there's parts of an artwork that are challenging. Maybe the drawing was hard for you today, but maybe the painting is really easy and it's really enjoyable. So I definitely think when I do art, I think the painting is the most fun for me. The drawing is a little trickier, but I have the most fun when I'm painting. So this part, you don't want to rush it. If you're having heaps of fun painting, you can just go slow and enjoy the paint kind of oozing onto the page and mixing the really beautiful bright colors. And if you are just starting painting, you can just have a look at how I am doing it and the colors I'm choosing. And you might want to copy this idea, or you might want to do something totally different. It's definitely totally up to you. Okay, I've done this bright orange one, and I have a little bit down here to do before I get to the background. So I'm actually interested. Do you prefer drawing or painting? Which part is your favorite, the drawing part or the painting part? You can tell me. You can put that in the comments. Sometimes we got to do the tricky bit to get to the good bit at the end. So that's kind of how I think of this picture for me. I'm doing the tricky drawing, and then I'm doing the fun painting. But you might love all of it. Maybe yours favorite is just the whole lot, which is really cool. Now, if you don't have paint, someone doesn't have paint, you know what you use? Whatever you've got at home. Crayons could look good, pencils. Hey, lots of you are telling me painting is your favorite. I agree with you. Some of you say drawing as well. That's great. So for painting, if you love painting the most, you got to get these paints because they're so bright and they're so easy to use and they last a really long time. So these are from Zart Art, Z-A-R-T, Zart Art. It's my favorite place for art supplies online. Heaps of you are saying painting. Gwen says both. Good job, Gwen. That sounds really good if you just love both. Now, do you know what yesterday for the space project? For that project, I loved both. There was something really fun about the painting the black space background and then drawing the spaceships and coloring it in. I really loved that. So painting and drawing, both for me, for the space. Heaps of you are telling me both. Some of you, let's see, Elise in Austin loves oil pastels. Cool, so that would be drawing because you draw with oil pastels. And Ava loves drawing and Emily loves painting. That is really fun. If you've got two people in your family and one loves one and the other, you can kind of collaborate. Lots of you are saying both, which is really cool. Tell me who's up to the background. And if you are up to the background, what color are you using? I'm about to use yellow. And I want to shout out to Harry because Harry added something amazing in his picture I never thought of. Harry added a beehive. Harry, I cannot wait to see your beehive with your sloth jungle. That sounds amazing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and paint the background, and this is going to take a little extra time because I've got lots of little tiny sections to get in. So I'm just going to go really slow around these tiny sections first. I want you to take your time. Okay, we have yellow and orange and yellow in the background for some of you. Good job. I can't wait to hear what color have you decided to paint your background, and just take your time. If you did a leaf like me, like this one, you got to be slow with that because there's a really, really small sections. Pink, peach, and orange for your background. All of these are going to make your sloth stand out. Can we use that word again that we're creating or that we are using to create our art to make things stand out? What is that word? We're creating contrast. That's what we're creating today. We are creating contrast by using super bright colors in the background and black and white for our sloth. So contrast is where we put two things that are opposite or different next to each other. Color, black and white, they're opposite or they're different. We're putting them next to each other, and so that's how we create contrast. It's a really, really clever thing lots of artists use in their artworks. Okay, I've got to be really careful around these little leaves because they're tiny little spaces I got to get in. And you know what I like to do? I like to go around the outside first. So just here, I'm going to go around the outside. And once I've gone around the outside, I can be a little speedier, or I've just got the outline so I don't need to worry as much about painting over a section. Just like that. Now I can go quicker. Okay, some of you are saying yellow background, pink, orange. It sounds like lots of us are using warm colors. That's a really, really great color scheme to have for this project. If you're using like a warm color in the background, they're those colors that come to mind when you think of fire or heat or summer or warmth. Reds and yellows and pinks and orange. Okay. So guys, once we finish this painting, what I want you to do is think about which part of the artwork are you most proud of? Which part of the artwork you're most proud of? You don't need to tell me yet, but I want you to write that before you leave. Which part of the artwork are you most proud of? There might have been a section that you found really tricky, but you did it anyway. And by the end of it, when you put all the paint on top, maybe you actually think it turned out pretty well. So maybe you're really proud that you finished it and that you pushed through even though you didn't think it was working out in the beginning. Maybe you're really proud of your color choices. Maybe you're really proud. Lots of you are saying the sloth. That is great. You're really proud of the sloth that you drew. Maybe it's the first time you've ever drawn a sloth. Or maybe it's the first time you've ever drawn a sloth using only line, because we didn't use color. We didn't use tone or texture or form. All we used for our sloth was line. Hey, you know what? The more I think about it, this art project is actually pretty hard. And I'm glad I put it in the art party just to show you what you're capable of with a little bit of guidance. Okay, someone said they are most proud of watching it all come together because the drawing bit was hard. Hey, well done. I am so impressed that you stuck it out even though it was tricky in the beginning, because that's something that you got to use in your whole life. You got to do that when you're 30 and 40 and 50. You still got to do that. So I'm so proud that you did that when you're only in primary school and you're learning to stick it out even though it's hard. What else? Some people said they are most proud of your sloth drawing. Lots of you said you're proud of pushing through on the sloth. Well done. I chose something really tricky for you to draw, and so I'm so impressed that you pushed through. Some of you have said you're proud of your drawing and you're proud of all of it. You're proud of your beehive. Well done. I think for me, I'm proud of the different styles of leaves I added. So every leaf on my picture is different. So I think that is what I'm proud of, all the different types of leaves I've put in. Lots of you are really proud of your sloth as well. Do you know what? I cannot wait to see these. So remember, you want to go ahead and post a photo when you're done in the comments. I have a little bit of painting left and then I'm finished. I'm just noticing if I used a different color, these might look a little different, but any of the art projects that you do with me, you can always do them again and do them a little different. So you could put different jungle leaves in. You could even do your sloth in a portrait position. You can always go revisit these videos and try them for a second time. So let me know what you're most proud of. We have someone saying it was really hard, but it turned out okay and they're proud of their sloth. Well done for doing something hard today. Do you know what? Can I tell you a secret? It's a really big secret. Sometimes grown-ups like me don't try hard things. They avoid them. Sometimes grown-ups avoid hard things. But what we learn when we're little and when we do art is that you can't avoid them. You have to do them. And so while you are doing your art today and you've done something really tricky in the beginning and you're finished, you're learning you can't avoid hard things. You have to do them. And so when you're grown up, like me, it's a really, really important skill and way of thinking that you have learned. Guys, I am finished. I am finished my sloth. I really love all the different types of leaves. I really love the way my sloth looks super furry. I'm going to put my lid on my paints. If you are finished as well, you got to pack up. Don't leave the mess. Put the lid on the paints. I'm going to wash out my paintbrush, tap it at the side, and I'm going to store it upright. You know, this keeps all my little bristles really safe. Don't give it a bad hair day and do it like this. Don't put it in a jar like this. Here we go. Store it like this. Now, I cannot wait to see two things. One is a photo of your artwork. So all you do is click the comment. There's a little icon like a square and you can upload your photo to the comment. And I want to know what you're most proud of. Okay, that's two things to do before you go. Thank you, Lucy, for sharing. It was super hard, but you didn't kept up and you kept going and you love art. I love hearing that. I'm so excited that you joined today. And you know what? Tomorrow is the last day of the art party. And tomorrow we are creating a cozy winter penguin. that is wearing a super fun pattern sweater. So maybe you want to think about some patterns that you want to put on your penguin. This is how, this is what we are doing tomorrow. And I mentioned, if you want to go ahead and keep creating art, we've got art bundles and the art club. The art club enrollment closes at the end of the school holidays. So well done for joining. Billy said she's most proud of the leaves, and Macy is most proud of the sloth. And someone said they're proud of going on with my painting, although it was super hard. You know what? There's a lot of big truth bombs in the comments with what you're most proud of. I'm really, really excited to share this experience with you. Atty loved her first class and will be back for more. So you join me tomorrow here at 10 a.m. and we'll do our last art party lesson, which is our winter penguin. Remember, if you join the art club, you get heaps and heaps and heaps more art to do in lockdown or school holidays or whenever you like. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to read all your comments and take a look at all your beautiful photos. I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.